Hey Lakers fans, welcome back. Today we are diving deep into what has been a really frustrating stretch for our team, especially when it comes to the minutes distribution and playing time for Jared Vanderbilt. Now, let's be honest, when you're missing key pieces like LeBron James and Marcus Smart, and you're coming off a back-to-back, it feels like the perfect opportunity to give someone like Vanderbilt a chance to step up, right? You have the New Orleans Pelicans on the schedule, a team that has been struggling. And even if the rest of the roster isn't fully healthy, this is exactly the kind of game where you would want to see him contribute, at least for 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, what do we see? He barely gets 3 minutes, and those minutes are not even garbage time. Dalton Connect gets the majority of the playing time. And while I understand giving young players opportunities is important, it just doesn't make sense to me that Vanderbilt is almost invisible on the floor. You have to give him enough time to show what he can do. 3 minutes? That's barely a warm-up. If you want to see a player's impact, he needs a full quarter at the minimum. Otherwise, you might as well not play him at all. Now, let's break this down. If the Lakers had played Vanderbilt and Adair for 15 minutes each, would the result have been different against the Pelicans? Maybe not, but at the very least, you're keeping your starters fresher for the back-to-back against the Phoenix Suns. You're not asking them to play full 35 to 40 minutes each, and you're getting valuable contribution from players who can defend, rebound, and provide energy. LeBron is expected to return soon, and Gigaric mentioned that they are working toward him playing back-to-back games. That makes sense, and I personally have no issue with him sitting out against the Pelicans, especially since their roster was essentially rested for that game. But even with those circumstances, it still boggles my mind that Vanderbilt sees almost no floor time. Let's be clear, Vanderbilt solves multiple problems for this Lakers team. Yes, he has limitations offensively, and he hasn't been spectacular defensively compared to the preseason. But his ability to rebound, his perimeter defense, his hustle, and his energy are things this team desperately needs. He's one of the few players who consistently wins 50-50 balls, chases loose balls, and provides that defensive athleticism on the wing. In a game where you're missing two key perimeter players, you have to ask yourself why he is being overlooked. There are two potential explanations here. Either the Lakers are planning to trade him, or they are intentionally keeping him out of the rotation for reasons unknown, possibly to manipulate trade value or showcase other players like Maxi Kleber or Gabe Vincent. Either way, it's confusing and frustrating for fans who want to see him contribute. And it's not just about Vanderbilt. This pattern of minimal playing time has been consistent across multiple games. We've seen Dalton Connect get 17 minutes against a weak Pelicans team, while Vanderbilt barely touches the court. Connect ended up with 4 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists in that stretch. Vanderbilt could have matched or exceeded those contributions in half the time, particularly with rebounds and defensive stops. This isn't about nitpicking minor stats. It's about a player who provides value in areas the Lakers are struggling with. The team clearly needs defense, athleticism, and hustle on the perimeter, and that is exactly what Vanderbilt offers. Watching him sit while other players get the opportunity feels like a missed chance to build chemistry, maintain defensive consistency, and give him confidence heading into tougher matchups. The rotation choices have been puzzling, to say the least. Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, and Dalton Connect all receive playing time over Vanderbilt, even in situations where you would expect him to be a natural fit. Yes, Vincent and Kleber have contributed, and yes, the coaching staff wants to develop younger players, but at what cost? Vanderbilt is capable of impacting the game in ways these other players currently cannot. Against teams like the Pelicans, or during games where the Lakers are managing a back-to-back, he should be an automatic inclusion for at least 10 to 15 minutes. His skill set is complementary to the rest of the team. He can guard multiple positions, protect the rim when necessary, and grab rebounds in critical moments. Not using him seems counterintuitive, especially when managing minutes for stars like Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and Luka. If we look at recent games, the pattern continues. Vanderbilt receives DNP designations repeatedly, even when opportunities present themselves on paper. There are games where a simple redistribution of minutes, 5 minutes here and there from starters, could allow Vanderbilt to impact the game without sacrificing rhythm or offensive flow. It's about smart allocation, and it's about giving a player who fills gaps the chance to perform. It's not just fans noticing this either. The narrative is clear across multiple platforms. A player like Vanderbilt is not just a warm body on the bench. He's a crucial piece for defensive schemes, hustle plays, and rebounding, all of which are areas the Lakers need to improve to compete consistently in tight matchups. The bigger issue isn't just one game. It's a consistent message from the coaching staff about who they trust in critical moments. If the Lakers are holding Vanderbilt back for a trade, or if there are other strategic reasons, those explanations are never communicated. It leaves fans and possibly even teammates questioning the rationale behind rotations. Watching Dalton Knecht receive 17 minutes with minimal impact while Vanderbilt sits makes one wonder if this team is prioritizing developmental projects over immediate, tangible contributions. Vanderbilt's presence on the floor changes the dynamic. He adds defensive toughness and energy that others cannot replicate. When managing minutes for LeBron, Marcus Smart, or other perimeter players, incorporating Vanderbilt strategically could alleviate pressure on starters while providing stability and effort defensively. In games like this, particularly when starters are sitting or recovering from heavy minutes, there is no downside to giving Vanderbilt meaningful minutes. His effort and versatility make him a valuable tool for managing rotations, protecting stars, and impacting the game on both ends. It's about more than scoring. It's about controlling pace, boxing out effectively, defending multiple positions, and creating turnovers. Each minute he is on the floor is a minute of defensive reliability and energy, areas where the Lakers have struggled in stretches this season. The repeated decision to minimize his playing time, even in favorable situations, continues to raise questions about the coaching philosophy and how the roster is being managed. Jared Vanderbilt is more than capable of contributing in these games. His defensive acumen, hustle plays, and ability to secure rebounds are exactly what the Lakers need when managing a back-to-back or dealing with limited personnel. The ongoing reluctance to utilize him fully suggests either a strategic long-term plan or a disconnect between player abilities and coaching deployment. Either way, it frustrates fans who recognize his potential and the immediate benefits he brings. To see him sidelined repeatedly while other less impactful players accumulate minutes does not make sense from a basketball perspective, particularly when facing weaker opponents where rotation flexibility should allow him a chance to shine. Continuing with the Lakers situation, it's hard to ignore how the pattern of limited minutes for Jared Vanderbilt affects not only the team's performance, but also the overall rhythm of the rotation. Every time we see games where starters are either resting or limited due to fatigue, and Vanderbilt is left on the bench, it feels like a missed opportunity to balance the lineup. Teams across the league would kill for a player with his combination of defensive agility, perimeter coverage, and energy, and yet the Lakers consistently hesitate to deploy him in meaningful stretches. We have seen glimpses of what Vanderbilt can bring, and it's clear that when he is given even a handful of minutes, he adds value in ways that others cannot replicate. His ability to contest shots, grab rebounds, and contribute to team hustle plays makes him a unique piece in the rotation that the coaching staff seems reluctant to trust fully. When looking at specific matchups, it's especially confusing. Take games against teams like the Pelicans or other lower-tier squads where the Lakers are trying to manage a back-to-back schedule. These games should be the exact scenario where Vanderbilt gets his opportunity. You are missing wings like LeBron and Marcus Smart, so the natural substitution would be Vanderbilt to help cover minutes and maintain defensive integrity. Instead, what do we see? Dalton Knecht or other young players getting the lion's share of minutes, often with little to no positive impact. The result is that the team loses the benefit of Vanderbilt's defensive presence, and the starters carry more burden than necessary. These decisions are perplexing, especially considering how valuable Vanderbilt has been in previous stretches when given more consistent playing time. There's also the psychological factor for the team and Vanderbilt himself. A player who works hard, hustles for every loose ball, and demonstrates a clear understanding of defensive rotations deserves the chance to contribute consistently. Repeatedly being benched or receiving only token minutes can affect confidence, timing, and chemistry with teammates. It's one thing to manage minutes strategically for development or recovery. It's another to have a player who clearly offers tangible benefits be largely invisible in games where his skill set is sorely needed. For a team trying to compete at a high level, especially in a Western Conference with intense competition, these kinds of rotation choices raise serious questions about strategic priorities. Let's break down Vanderbilt's value in practical terms. He is a player who can defend multiple positions effectively, secure defensive rebounds, and generate hustle plays that swing momentum in crucial moments. Against teams with dynamic wings or athletic forwards, Vanderbilt's impact is measurable. Even if he doesn't contribute heavily on offense, his presence alone forces opponents to adjust, disrupts passing lanes, and closes gaps in defensive rotations. For a Lakers squad that has struggled with defensive consistency and athleticism on the perimeter, leaving Vanderbilt on the bench seems counterintuitive. Not only does it compromise defensive effectiveness, but it also forces primary scorers to expend more energy guarding multiple positions, which can lead to fatigue and mistakes later in games. Another point worth considering is the development and confidence of other young players. While it's understandable that the coaching staff wants to give minutes to emerging talent like Dalton Knecht, Maxi Kleber, or Gabe Vincent, there's a fine line between fostering growth and mismanaging resources. Playing young players excessively at the expense of a seasoned, defensive-minded contributor like Vanderbilt can create imbalance in the lineup. It risks giving opponents an advantage, especially in games where rotation depth is crucial. Vanderbilt's minutes could be used strategically to support these young players while maintaining overall team effectiveness. For example, he can cover for defensive lapses, protect the rim, and provide secondary playmaking through passing and transition opportunities, all while reducing the pressure on less experienced teammates. It's also important to note that Vanderbilt's contributions go beyond basic stats. Fans often look at points and assists, but defense, hustle, and floor spacing are harder to quantify yet critical to winning consistently. Vanderbilt embodies this type of intangible value. Each contested shot, every hustle rebound, and each effort play contributes to momentum, energy, and ultimately the team's ability to execute under pressure. When these contributions are ignored or undervalued, it sends a mixed message about priorities and player utilization. The Lakers are in a position where every edge counts, and Vanderbilt represents one of the few reliable ways to maintain defensive toughness and energy across 48 minutes of play. The recurring question remains, why is Vanderbilt not seeing the court? Is it a matter of injury, trade considerations, or simply a strategic experiment with other players? Regardless of the reason, the result is the same. The Lakers are missing out on a player whose skill set directly addresses weaknesses in defense, rebounding, and hustle. It's not just about individual games. It's about establishing a rotation that maximizes strengths while covering gaps effectively. Vanderbilt's absence in key moments creates holes that other players cannot fill, leading to defensive lapses, fatigue among starters, and missed opportunities to build confidence and cohesion across the roster. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, a curious buzz has been echoing through Los Angeles, growing louder by the hour, as word spreads that Kevin Durant has arrived in the city wearing purple and gold from the moment he stepped off the plane. No official announcements, no press releases, not even a cryptic tweet from the forward himself. Yet the whispers have taken over every corridor of the basketball world. Durant has landed with a welcome usually reserved for Hollywood royalty. Crowds gathered outside the team facility long before sunrise, waving banners and chanting his name as if a long-awaited hero had finally come home. Witnesses claim that as soon as Durant entered the building, executives, staff members, and even a few former legends were there, greeting him with an enthusiasm bordering on celebration. The mood was festive, almost surreal, as though an era had shifted without anyone quite realizing it. Inside the locker room, things reportedly became even more interesting. Sources close to the scene described an atmosphere of electric anticipation, with players exchanging knowing glances and coy smiles, refusing to confirm anything yet clearly aware of what Durant's presence could mean. Observers swear the superstar took a slow walk through the facility, exploring each corner with the calm confidence of someone imagining a new home. Around the league, the rumor has sparked a mix of disbelief and speculation. Is this a secret meeting, a courtesy visit, or something far more significant? Perhaps the opening chapter of a blockbuster move that could shake the balance of power? The lack of clarity has only fueled the excitement, and social media has turned the moment into a frenzy of theories, mock-ups of jerseys, and breathless predictions. Whether this is merely smoke or the start of firestorm, one thing is certain. Durant's unexpected arrival has set Los Angeles ablaze with hope, curiosity, and a touch of chaos. His presence alone has transformed a routine day into a spectacle, leaving fans and insiders hanging on every whisper, waiting for the next clue in a story that already feels larger than life. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.